What is up, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the stock market sold off today. S&P 500 went down 0.3%, Dow Jones down 0.6%, Nasdaq 100 down 0.3%, and somehow the Russell 2000 went up 1.3% on the day. And today we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks to buy now. And I also want to share with you guys what I did in the stock market today, stocks I own right now, and in general where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to get yourself into the Strive Smart Discord chat, the Facebook group, get 4 stocks from WeBull. Those are free, and you could also get $30 from M1 Finance. That's also free. All of those are linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it, guys. Right here, what you are seeing is the S&P 500, and if you remember what we talked about in yesterday's video, which is why it's super important to keep up with all of these updates, guys, because we go over the markets every single day. We talked about how the S&P 500 was trading in this tight little channel between 38.45 as support and resistance right around 38.60. I mean, you guys can see it here from the 20th of January. We were in that range, right? And on the 21st, and I told you guys, if we break 38.60, that's going to be obviously bullish. We might see a big pop, maybe 3,900 eventually if that were to happen. And I also said if 38.45 were to break, hey, we might be selling off a bit further from there. And take a look. We ended up gapping under 38.45 today. We hit about 38.30 at about 10:30 a.m. here on the East Coast. And then we did see a bit of a rebound. But if I extend this to the right, notice where we saw resistance for the rest of the day after we rebounded. It's right around 38.45, 38.50. That is where we struggled for the entire day. And the fact that we took pretty much a cliff dive at the close of the market, I mean, I don't want to be dramatic, guys. It wasn't that bad. But we did see a bit of a dump from 38.51 down to 38.40. That is not too good of a sign, the fact that we couldn't close over 38.45, but it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean we're crashing by any sense of stretch of the imagination, guys. That's not what this means, but it does mean that, hey, we could be seeing a bit of a further pull down, and a level that I'm looking for here, let's say if we were to maybe take out the lows from today at about 38.30 on Monday, next week at some point in time, maybe we took those lows out, where could we be going? I'm thinking 38.20. That is a resistance from back in the beginning of January to the middle of January, right around 38.20, 25. That is where we could be going. And if that level were to break, and now that I'm looking at it, that's right where the 50 SMA is here on the hourly chart as well. If that were to break, guys, we're going straight to 37.85 in my opinion, which would be right around this 180 SMA. Heck, even maybe 37.70, right around this 180 SMA on the hourly chart, which is not too crazy of a pull down. I mean, it's about 1.5% of a drop from where we are now, but that's what I'm seeing. And overall, you could argue that the markets are a bit overbought. I mean, if you look on this 4-hour chart, you could argue that, yes, Stas, hey, I want to see the markets get to 36.50. I mean, that would be a great spot in my opinion as well, but I don't want to jump to that conclusion yet because we're still trading at 38.40, right? And we have to see some of these support levels break before we could be like, okay, maybe 36.50 is a more realistic spot for it to get to. So yeah, 36.50 in a perfect world would be an awesome spot for it to pull down to, but we're just not there quite yet. And like I said, take a look at 38.45, 38.30, 38.20. These are all big support levels for next week on the S&P 500 that will determine direction, at least in the short term, right? And another index we're going to talk about today is the Nasdaq 100, and there's not much to go over, guys. Did we hit an all-time high today? Let me take a look here. That was probably yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday at 13,430, and today we gapped down a bit. But what you notice here is we did hold about 13,340, 330 as a support. That is a good sign for the whole day today, and we pretty much consolidated over that point. So for next week, for more direction on the NASDAQ 100, watch out for 13,330. If that were to break, maybe we see a gap down, maybe to 13,200, maybe 13,100 on the lower end, maybe 13,000 flat on the lower end. So yeah, take a look at those levels here on the NASDAQ. And as always, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the market. Let me know down below in the comments. Have you bought any stocks today? Are you more in cash? Are you selling stocks, locking in profits? I would love to know. Let me know down below in the comments. So for what I did today, guys, is I ended up locking a little bit of profit, half of my position on NEO. And you guys know a couple days ago, I got into NEO at $57.25. And I ended up locking in again half of my position today on this rally. And I don't want to say we got lucky, but it was a good day for the EVs, some of the EVs, that is, as the market in general, again, was red. And this was coming, in my opinion, because NEO has been clobbered. I don't want to say clobbered, but it's been seeing a downswing ever since NEO Day. You guys saw that pop to 67. Ever since then, I mean, it's gone down to 57, which, let's take a look. That's got to be like a 15% drop. Yeah, about 14%. So it did go down 14%. And in my opinion, this pop was coming, and you could argue I sold a bit too early, which is why I left half of my position for next week. But I figured it's the end of the week. Let me lock in some profits, and I did exactly that at $61.75. That's where I locked it in. It was close to about it was right around here, actually, more towards the end of the day here on NEO stock. So I locked in some profits there, and I also opened up a fresh, brand new position on Tattooed Chef, ticker symbol TTCF. This is one that I bought later on in the day at about $24.50. And this is a swing trade. All of these plays we're going to talk about today are swing trades. And I think Tattooed Chef has potential back up to about $26.50. $27, and you guys can see it. I don't want to say it's a textbook ascending triangle, but we notice there's a big resistance at 27.28, and it seems like with today's price action, we held the uptrend. And the uptrend overall has been holding for the past month, which is nice, right? We see the uptrend continuing into that resistance, and the idea here of an ascending triangle is for Tattooed Chef to ultimately squeeze out of 27, and I think, honestly, guys, it's going to $30 plus, which is why I'm building a position. And I actually already picked up some shares in my long-term account a couple days ago. I forget where I bought those, but yeah, I bought a long-term position a couple days ago, and this one right here is for a swing trade. And overall, you guys know I'm pretty bullish on Tattooed Chef, and I made a video on it, link down below. Go check it out. I made that video last week. I'm sure you guys will find value in it, going deeper into Tattooed Chef, what the business does, financials, the outlook, in my opinion. Go check that out. It's linked down below. And I'm also still in SBE Switchback Energy, which is taking charge point public. This is one that I picked up a couple days ago at $39.65. I added more yesterday at about $40.30. And this one didn't do well today. It went down about 2%. And ultimately, I think we're going to see a pop on SBE. And I love the way it's holding $39-40 roughly. And I think overall it is going to about $43 to about $46. So I'm holding SBE. I'm also still holding Workhorse. I'm in this one at about 22. Shout out to Workhorse. Today was a pretty strong day. It went up 3%. Earlier in the day, it was up even more. I mean, gosh, take a look at this. It's a short squeeze by the looks of it, guys. I mean, this thing went from 22.50 to 24.25 in about 10 minutes. That was a pop of 7%. So that's crazy. And speaking of a short squeeze, we're going to talk about one later in this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys can predict what stock we're going to talk about. Shoot me a comment. Pause this video, drop a comment. What stock are we going to talk about later that had an epic short squeeze today? I'm sure you guys will guess it. But yeah, Workhorse, I'm still in it. SLV, I'm also still in at about $23. And that's what I'm doing, guys. You know, those are my positions right now, and I'm pretty happy with them. And on top of that, cash is also a position I'm in, and I'm in about 40-50% cash at this point in time, which is a pretty comfortable spot for me with my opinion right now on the markets, right? I think the markets are a bit frothy. I'm not going to lie. We are having stimulus that is propping up the markets a bit, and I think we could go higher, but I'm just hedging against that downside risk with having some cash on the sidelines because, let's be honest, guys, nobody ever went broke. Think about it. Nobody ever went broke by having cash, right? People have gone broke by being too into the market, being 80, 90%, 100% in the market. People have gone broke doing that if the market drops 30, 40%. But if you have some cash, hey, you have opportunities, right? So what are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know, as always. And if you're enjoying the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to get your $30 from M1 Finance. It's free. And your 4 stocks from WeBull. Both of those are linked right down below. So let's talk about 7 stocks now that I'm personally looking at, many of which are breaking out, and a couple are on the verge of breaking out. So number 1 is BLNK Energy, or is it Blink? I always say Blink Energy, guys. I'm an idiot. It's Blink Charging. Blink Charging, ticker symbol BLNK. This is one that is a competitor to my existing swing position, SBE, also known as ChargePoint, right? And both of these have taken a bit of a hit recently. This one's down from $57 to about $44. It's down over 20%. It's in a bear market. You guys know anything over a 20% drop from the peak is a bear market, and that's where we are right now with Blink Charging. And today it went down another 4%. And I can see it on the lower end, and the closer it gets to this point, guys, the more of a buy, in my opinion, I think it is. I think the closer it gets to $38, $40, I think the more attractive it gets. Even here, if you want to average into it and have some cash on the sidelines, you know, waiting for an even further dip to add more to it, even where it is now, I think it's a great opportunity. Again, we're down 20%. We're right around that 180 SMA, and there could be a little bit more downside, maybe 10%, but, you know, I don't see it getting much lower than $38, $40. So this is a very attractive dip buy, in my honest, humble opinion, and that is ticker symbol BLNK. But you guys have to realize, with a lot of these new high-flying electric vehicle-oriented stocks, companies, you got to realize they're very volatile. You have to understand that before you get into this. You have to realize, you know, this is not a Procter & Gamble. This is not a Johnson & Johnson. This is not a Coca-Cola. This is a very high-growing, I don't even want to say speculative. I mean, it is a little bit speculative, but it's not that speculative. But it's just very volatile. So be careful with this one and many of the ones we're going to talk about today. And number 2 is Chewy, ticker symbol CHWY. And this is one we've talked about for months here on the channel. You guys know we were talking Chewy all day back when it was $55, $60, $70. We talked about it out of this breakout above $80, and it got all the way to $115, which one could argue that's a bit overbought, a bit frothy, and now it's down to about $105. It's trimmed about 10% from that all-time high, and it seems seems like it's holding that 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. It's trying to hold this uptrend. So I think if this could hold, and we haven't confirmed it quite yet because on this 10-day chart, you guys notice we're still downtrending on the 10-day chart. So we're in this wedge kind of, so we have to pick a direction. You know, if we break out of 105, let's say 106, 107, and in that case, I think we could be going higher, maybe 110, 115. But if we were to collapse and continue this downtrend and maybe go low hundreds, where do you think, or where I think it's going to go? I think back on that 4-hour, that is where we could be getting to 91, maybe 92, $95, which honestly, guys, I am not opposed to that. I am actually rooting for that. You know, I'm sorry if you're in the stock, guys. I'm sorry if you're in Chewy already, but I want it to go lower because I want to get into this stock at 92, 95. I think right around this 180 SMA 4-hour chart, that could be an awesome entry here for ticker symbol CHWY. And another one that's on the verge of breaking out, right? Very similar to Chewy here. Not in pattern, but both of these are on the verge of breaking out, is Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. And this is one that we made money on. I think this was like 2 weeks ago. I traded Nvidia, and, you know, it's just been, guys, straight up consolidating for 4 months, 5 months almost. This thing is bound for a move. You know, we can see it slowly creeping out of this wedge that it was in ever since the beginning of September. And now we're flirting with that level at 545 that I've been talking so much about to you guys. 545. This has been a point where Nvidia has been struggling ever since the beginning towards the middle of November. So, wow, that's like 2.5 months at this point. And I think if 545 could break, that is where we're going to see a big squeeze, probably back up to 575. That'd be my first target, 545 to 575, which could give it about 3 to 5% upside from where it is right now. And even above that, 59600, that would be my next target, 59600. So from 545 to 59600, that could be anywhere from an 8 to a 9, maybe even a 10% move if Nvidia were to break out and maybe go to all-time highs. So Nvidia, I think it's coming time for some momentum. It's just been, on this consolidation phase for a little bit too long, and we just have to pick direction. So watch out for Nvidia. Palantir, guys, oh my goodness. Palantir today absolutely erupted. This stock went up 25%. And although I didn't get in the stock, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I did not get in this stock. We've been talking about this move for some time. And that's the thing with the markets, guys. You can chart things out. You can look at stocks a lot. And, you can be like, oh, this is going to break out. But timing is a big thing. And for me, guys, and honestly, I missed the move. But timing is so big because if you miss the big initial pop, you pretty much miss the boat. And at this point, I'm looking at Palantir as a missed boat for me, at least. I wouldn't be chasing in here at $33, close to those all-time highs. But any pull down we get, maybe to 28, $30, that could be an entry point on the dip. So this one already broke out. There could be more upside, but I would love to get in on a little bit of a pullback here. And again, we called this out. But we didn't get the timing right because we were talking about this last week, a couple videos ago, and today is when it decided to break out. But all we need to know is it did break out. It broke out of this. It actually looked like a descending triangle for a little bit, but now that we broke out of it, it's no longer a descending triangle. So watch out for Palantir. They actually have a live demo day on Tuesday, January 26th, so that's in 4 days from now at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Palantir's product demos will include its Foundry, Gotham, and Apollo platforms. Product leads will show the latest latest releases of each platform and describe the upcoming research and development roadmap for 2021. Palantir will cover examples of its commercial and government work. So that could be, related to this big pop, some hype, and just overall, it's getting out of this consolidation phase. Shout out to all the Palantir holders out there. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys do own Palantir stocks. So the next one here is Upwork, UPWK, which I think is also about to break out, especially now that it's fiddling with about $41 to about $42. You can see it here on the hourly chart. Actually, no, you can't. On this, let's say, 90-day chart. If I zoom in a bit, you guys can see that is a big resistance from back in the end of December. So I think if that could break and we continue this green run that we've been on. I mean, today we were up 3%, which is a good sign, but we haven't broken out of that resistance quite yet. But I think the second we take out 41.50, 42, I can see Upwork squeezing up to maybe $44, which gives it about 5% upside from here, and even higher than that. I think, work from home is here to stay. Yeah, sure, people are going to go back to work, but overall, CV, this whole crisis, it accelerated that trend of working from home, and I think companies like Upwork, freelance, they're going to be more needed now than ever, and they're going to continue growing. So, yeah, Upwork, I'm bullish on this one. And let's see if you guys guessed that short squeeze stock right from earlier. Did you guys guess it? If you didn't, drop a comment down below right now. What stock squeezed like crazy today? It was GameStop, ticker symbol GME. And this is something that I haven't seen in a while, this type of parabolic move, and it's still going, guys. Wow, it closed at 65. Now it's at 68. I was watching this stock earlier at 58, 57, didn't buy in. If I were to buy in, I'd be up 15%, but hey, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I didn't get in. It's all good. It's okay. But the point is here, this is a short squeeze, guys, and a very epic one at that. And so many people on Wall Street bets, you guys know, people on Wall Street bets, they are absolutely insane. These moves that they make are crazy, but when they pan out, oh man, do they pan out. And this is one that panned out for them. They made a crap ton of money. The bears got squashed. And GameStop, they had more than 138% of their float shares sold short. And this is the single most shorted name in the U.S. stock market, according to FactSet, which is crazy. And short seller Citron Research, which we've seen many reports from Citron Research with other companies we've covered here over the months on this YouTube channel, they have been vocal about the stock, saying buyers at these elevated levels are quote-unquote the suckers at this poker game. And that was according to a Tuesday tweet. And Citron said GameStop will fall back to $20 a share very fast. And they typically say this type of stuff when they have a short position, in a company, right? They're not going to be like, oh, GameStop's going to go up a ton when they're short the stock. I mean, they're not going to do that. But on Friday, Citron said it would not be commenting on GameStop any longer because of the attacks from an angry mob, quote unquote, angry mob. You guys probably know who they are. Maybe people from Wall Street bets, that own the stock. And former CEO, this is pretty interesting here, former Chewy CEO has been trying to push GameStop to become the Amazon of the video game industry. And the confirmation of Chewy founder Ryan Cohen's stewardship, I can't even say that right, for the company with his board seats will bring rapid transformative change for GameStop into an e-commerce company. So that is adding a little bit more hype. Ryan Cohen was the Chewy CEO. He's now on the board of GameStop. And, people are like, okay, is this finally the transition of GameStop from the blockbuster of video games to maybe an e-commerce company that's going to take over video games? Who knows? That could be something coming. And me personally, I don't know if I'm buying it quite yet. I'd like to see some execution. I mean, we've seen A lot of these video games, they're sold direct to consumer right on the Xbox. You can go and buy the game on the Xbox. So I'm pretty interested to see how GameStop is going to position themselves. We'll see. But overall, GameStop, short squeeze of a lifetime here. And I've seen people saying it's not even over yet. And before the previous short squeeze we saw from GameStop, when it went from 20 to 40, people then were also saying it's not over yet. It wasn't over yet. They were right. It squeezed up even more. And maybe it goes up to $100 plus. That could happen. And honestly, I would not be surprised. So that's GameStop. Let me know down below in the comments, guys. What are your thoughts on GameStop? Me personally, I'm probably not going to buy any of it here. If it were to drop maybe to $50 as a speculative play, I might put in a couple, some money. Who knows? Maybe a little bit of money there to play with it. We'll see. But overall, GameStop, that's what we're seeing right now. And the last stock for today, before we wrap things up, is Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. And just like Tattooed Chef, I also made an individual stock video on Beyond Meat. I'll link that down below in the description box if you guys do want to go check that out. And Beyond Meat today did well, up 4.5%. We ended up almost breaking out of that big resistance at 145, but we didn't. And that's what I'm looking for. I think if 145 could break here on Beyond Meat, this thing's off to the races. I think the next gap coming is going to be around 160, which could give it from where it is now to 160 a good amount of upside, probably about 7, 8, maybe 10% plus if it could break 160. So those are the main stocks for today that I'm watching, what I did, thoughts on the markets. Now, I'd love to know what you guys are doing. Again, leave me a comment down below. If you all enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe, join the family, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to also get yourself into the Strive Smart Discord chat, the Facebook group, get 4 stocks from WeBull, $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and linked right down below in the description box. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the markets, guys. I messed up my outro there, guys. Keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there, guys. Like always, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.